Finally getting some snow. I had to put on some wool. It's a little bit nippy today. So I got the front door framed. That's the rough opening. I'm getting ready to notch that into the log. And then for the side doors, I'm a board short, so I'll have to wait till I go back to town and get another board. But I can still run my logs on this wall. I'll just stop them about where they're gonna lie. And then once I get the other board, I'll frame it in, notch it in, and then cut those logs to the right length. I have 2 more boards around here somewhere, but they got buried underneath the snow. I can't remember where I put them, so I guess we'll just find them in the spring. Hey, bud. All right, so there's center right there, and I'm gonna notch this part of the log out, and the bottom of my door frame will sit in there. So we're just gonna make a flat surface on this log and then nail it down into that. So now that those chunks are out and this is kind of roughly formed, I'll go back and forth with my chainsaw and make this level. Kind of a hump in the middle, which I can see. Well, it stands up on its own, so that's a good sign. All right, we'll take it. Came out pretty good. I'll tack this thing down and then we'll start building the sliding doors. I don't know if those are gonna be sliding doors or French doors, but either way, they're gonna be double doors that go out to a porch. So it's just whatever we end up with or find a good deal on. Before I'll have to get a ladder back here so I can reach up top and run some angle pieces to keep this thing square, and then to keep it plumb, I'll just run a board to these trees. Well, I have this one all laid out. This door goes centered on this eave wall. So I'll make my cuts and notch this out. Mint. So here's what we got done today. We got the front door right there, roughly framed in. And then that is this side door. So now I don't have to do any more framing until I get up to these windows on the front and this side. So that'll be, you know, 4 or 5 logs high. And then we'll frame those in and fill in between. Well, it got dark, but it's still pretty early in the night, so I'm gonna get a couple logs up, I think, at least on this front wall. So I have this one set. I'm using a ratchet strap to hold them together since I don't have an extra pair of hands with me. So all there is left to do now is spike this thing down. But I gotta run back and grab my 12-inch spikes from the main cabin. But yeah, we'll get this one on and then the next log at least tonight. Well, I got this one spiked on. I'm gonna do the other one on this front gable wall, and then tomorrow morning I'll do the ones on the back gable wall, and then we'll do the ones on the eaves. All right, let's head back. So I'm going to fill in this log right here between the door frame and this corner. This is the button pass method, same exact way I built the log cabin workshop. It goes pretty quick, it looks good. The only downside is, I guess, is that you will have a little bit more chinking in the corner as opposed to, you know, like a saddle notch or full scribe. I'm primarily going to be building this cabin by myself. My dad might come up and help when he can. My buddy Jeff might come up and help, but this method makes it a lot easier, you know, if you're doing a solo build, as opposed to having to get the log up, you know, scribe it out, then flip it back over, then notch it. You know, I don't have an extra set of hands, and I don't have a tractor. I don't have, you know, cranes or anything like that, so. All right, I got this log up. Works pretty good with the ratchet strap. Holds it together while I get the other end up, and right now it's just kind of sitting on there, so it's a little sketchy. I'm gonna go grab another ratchet strap and tie this side together. So you can see I have gaps right here. There's a pretty good gap right there, one there. I'm okay with gaps, but I don't really want them any more than a ½ inch. This is probably an inch in those two spots. But you can see it's touching there, and then you can see there's a knot right here that's holding it up. So I'll just run my chainsaw back and forth where it's touching, and that'll drop this log down a little bit more and make them fit tighter. Again, these logs are right from the land. You know, they're not perfectly straight. They're far from it, so it is what it is. You know, you just got to do what you can to make them fit fairly tight. There's going to be chinking, you know, so it's okay if there are gaps. I just don't want them to be too big. ½ inch or so, I'll take that. Well, here's where we're at on the build. The front door is framed in and the side door is framed in, and then I'm 2 logs high all the way around now. I'll have to go to town before I go any farther because I want to get these door frames braced so that they stay square and plumb as I build. But so far it's coming along. So at this stage, it's just spiking logs together, and then once I get up to my window height, which shouldn't be too much longer, maybe 3 or 4 more logs high, then it'll be the same way that we notched in these door frames. You know, it's time consuming, but once that's done, then it's just running logs between them, spiking them down, spiking them to these frames. And that's really all there is to it. But so far, I'm happy with how it's coming along. You know, it's just a matter of keeping it level, square, and plumb. Next video will be just, you know, adding the logs up until I get to my window height, and I'll talk more about spiking and how these corners are tied together. But it's always fun getting 2 logs high because you kind of get to see what the gaps are going to look like, you know, how it's all going to come together. Yeah, I think it's going to come out pretty sweet. Well, thanks for watching. I'm going to keep at her, and I'll see you on the next video.